Good day. My name is Tayo Josh Duplessis, and this is my reflection on the Grade 7 Social Sciences Geography lesson that I developed on the topic of floods. So, the aim of the lesson was to help learners understand what floods are, how they occur, their causes and effects, and how flood damage can be reduced. By the end of the lesson, learners were expected to define a flood, explain its causes, describe its effects, and suggest solutions. These objectives were aligned with Bloom's taxonomy, moving from basic knowledge and understanding to higher order thinking such as analyzing and creating. The lesson consisted of an introduction, 3 main activities, and a conclusion. In the introduction, I introduced the topic using a brief explanation and a YouTube video showing real-life flood situations. Learners were asked guided questions to check prior knowledge and to connect the video to real-life experiences. This activity represents the augmentation level of the SAMR model because the video enhanced learning by making floods more visual and easier to understand instead of just using text or images alone. The first main activity involved learners using my Wix website and lesson notes to learn about the definition, causes, and effects of floods. I explained key concepts and facilitated class discussion while learners responded to questions. This represents the substitution of level of the SAMR model because digital resources replaced traditional textbook notes, but the learning content remained the same. The second activity was a group task where learners created a presentation using either Google Slides or PowerPoint. They worked in groups to explain flood causes, effects, and prevention methods, and then presented their work to the class. This activity represents redefinition because learners use digital tools to collaborate, design, and present information in a way that goes beyond what is possible with a traditional written assignment. The third activity was a Kahoot quiz used to assess the learner's understanding of floods. The quiz included questions on definitions, causes, effects, and prevention strategies and provided immediate feedback. This represents the modification level of the SAMR model because technology transformed the assessment process into an interactive and engaging activity with instant feedback. ICT was used throughout the lesson to support the learning. The YouTube video helped learners visualize flooding. The Wix website organized learning materials in one place. Google Slides or PowerPoint supported collaboration and creativity, and Kahoot made the assessment interactive and engaging. These tools all help make the learning more meaningful and accessible. My role as the educator or the teacher was to guide learning, explain concepts, ask questions, facilitate group work, and provide support where it was needed. The learners actively participated by watching the video, responding to questions, working in groups, presenting their ideas, and completing the Kahoot quiz. The lesson was very effective because learners were engaged throughout, and the use of ICT helped simplify complex geographical concepts. If I were to teach this lesson again, I would allow more time for group presentations and include a real-life South African flood case study, preferably in the KwaZulu-Natal region where most of the floods occur, to make the lesson more relevant. To accommodate different learning needs, I use visual resources like my videos, auditory learning like the class discussions, and collaborative learning like the group work activities. For learners who needed support were guided during activities, while the faster learners were encouraged to expand on their answers. Overall, this lesson showed me how ICT can improve geography teaching by increasing engagement, supporting collaboration, and making learning more interactive and meaningful. Thank you very much for watching my reflection.